Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to the live chat. Bob Baker here. Happy Friday morning to you. In this video, I'm going to be talking about taking action. I'm going to be talking about how to direct your energy. I'm going to talk about making plans and making progress and the differences between those two things, and how to couple and to combine that, that inspirational mental pump up that we all get from affirmations and guided meditations, and how to combine that with action and energy in the 3D world so that we can actually manifest the things in our lives. And so, yes, indeed. Sorry, I went a little. I had announced a little while ago that I was going live at the top of the hour, and I just had a great lesson in patience and. And rolling with the challenges, because I went to used my browser based software or whatever that's built into YouTube, as I've done many times with these live broadcasts, and it did not work. So I want to say hi to some folks. One drawback of I'm using my phone here, and so I'm not able to see all of the comments. But yes, I encourage you, as people are already doing. Chris Bell and Pooja and Tiny, I believe, are already leaving comments. So please do that. So say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I always love to get a grasp of the awesome global audience that we have here. And so yeah, definitely say hi in that regard. Real quick, please explain the significance of listening to the affirmations for 21 days. I'm going to make a note of that and come back to that, because that has been asked a couple of times. So the significance of doing affirmations for 21 days, I can hope to address that. A lot of people are piling in here saying hi. Just want to try to acknowledge some of you before I get into the lesson here. Hi, Sharon from Nova Scotia, Shannon from New Hampshire. Warlock says, thank you for everything you do. You are so welcome. I appreciate that. Carol says, hello from New Jersey. Lexan, hi from the coastal North Carolina. Della's from England. Good morning, Octavia. Hi, Grace. Well, hello, Teresa from Maryland. Yeah, Chris is from Arizona. Lee from Jersey. Joyzy. You don't need to even put the new on there. We just know it's Jersey. Natasha from Canada. Robert is from, oh boy, Suriname? I'm probably really mispronouncing that. Good morning from Montreal. Darley from Montreal. Octavia from New York. Mona from Atlanta. Man, oh man, we got this. This is just so awesome to me. We got is it Gia or Gaia from McKinney, Texas. I was just in Texas. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my trip. And Maria from Tampa, Florida. This is fantastic. So I've been doing these. I think, as many of you know, I've been doing these affirmation videos for between 2 and 3 years ago. Even though I've been on YouTube since 2006, I've been on YouTube for over 13 years. It was only about 3 years ago that I started experimenting with these guided meditations and affirmations, and it came out of I was actually seeking these things out as a user. I mean, I've been meditating off and on since I was in high school. Been big proponent of being a lifelong learner, big proponent of being of a personal development and improving my positivity and my mindset. So I was already doing these things and preaching these things in a lot of the books that I'd written for musicians and creatives over the years. But I didn't start actually creating the type of things that you're probably aware of me for until like maybe 3 years ago, 2.5, especially 2 years ago. In particular, and because I was seeking these things out and was kind of picky about the voice that I was listening to and the music in the background, and so it was like I said, well, man, I'm going to start creating things that I would like to use myself, and thankfully, I'm very blessed that it's resonated with many of you, and so thank you for listening to my stuff, and many of you listen repeatedly. In fact, for 21 days in a row, which I'm going to come back in a address. I seem to have found my niche. I pay attention to what's popular and what's getting the most views on YouTube, and morning affirmations tend to do well. One of my best, performing topics, and things on like abundance and confidence and success and gratitude. There's a whole range of topics. But some of the things that I've experimented with, a lot of meditations and guided meditations tend to have kind of mellow you out, and it's meant to sit there in the lotus position with your eyes closed, and that's all great. There are definitely times when we need to chill and clear our minds. That's the purpose of meditation. But when it comes to the affirmations, I sometimes I'm in the mood for something a little bit more energizing, so I've been playing with that over the years, and I've done stuff with empowering music and sort of like almost like get up and start moving with your day. The most recent video is affirmations on taking action, which is what I want to kind of focus on here. So that's a long way of saying, yeah, I'm interested to see if I did more recordings about the take action and more energizing, if that would yeah, if that would serve you. Let me just check real quick on some of the comments here, as I know they've been coming in. Good morning from Concord, California, from Malaysia, Sandy from New Jersey. At first, I thought the affirmations were silly until I started using them, this is Sharon, subconsciously, so they're pretty significant in changing my mindset. Yes, I too had those things when I started listening to them years ago when they were brand new. You know, to be saying these things to myself, you know, God, it's so silly. And even Al Franken, who was former senator and then, but also comedian and actor, used to be on Saturday Night Live. He had this character, if you don't recall, called Stuart Smalley. And he would kind of jokingly poke fun at affirmations, and he would look in the mirror as his character on Saturday Night Live and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. And I think that kind of gave a, I don't know what his personal philosophy or thoughts on affirmations were, but it kind of gave it a silly connotation. So maybe a lot of people didn't take it seriously. So maybe I felt that way too when I first started doing affirmations many years ago. And even when I started recording them, it was so different than the other material and content that I was creating on YouTube and elsewhere. I was going, man, what are people going to think? I felt silly recording them, but I just put them out there because I just knew in my gut that this was beneficial, and that I would find an audience for it. I was hopeful that I would, and thank God, yes, it has bared out. But yes, so at first you can feel silly, but I'm glad that you mentioned you keep doing them, and then you start to see and feel the benefits, and after a while they're no longer silly, and you're really doing a service to yourself and others by repeating these things to yourself. And I like to call it firming up your filter, because we all perceive the world through our own perceptions, and our perceptions are built up by our experiences and our beliefs, and you can firm up that filter and in a way that serves you. And a lot of people do that just by looking for things to be offended by. We all know people like that, and there are plenty of things. If you look for things to be offended by, oh my God, you will find them in multitudes. But if you go looking for the good, and looking for the good in other people, and looking for opportunities, then you're going to find those. So it's up to you. And so, yeah, get over that silliness if you're at that stage. So, let me see here. Those paintings for sale. Oh, Sandy said the paintings for sale. Yes, so I've been doing one of the things that I do in the arts is I do visual art, and yes, those paintings, and I have many others for sale. Sandy, boy, if you leave a if you're interested in something specific and want to know more about that, I can send you to a site to see more of my work. Actually, it's poprockartstudio.com. Don't order don't order from there directly. Well, contact me and let me know what you're interested in. I might be able to get you a better deal than some of the things there. Certainly the originals you would get through me. Prints, anyway, poprockartstudio.com if you want to see more of my original artwork. Since I'm in vertical mode, you can't see Amy Winehouse over there, and there's kind of a jazz piano player there. Let me adjust my phone here now that I've messed it up here. All right, let me just take a look here at some of the other awesome comments here. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we got first time watcher. Man, there's a lot of comments here. This is awesome. But I want to keep rolling along with the content here too, what I've got to share with you. All right, here we go. I love your videos. This is Grace. Helped me so much, and thanks again for making a video regarding a question I asked about doing affirmations. Okay, yeah, that's right. I covered that on doing affirmations for someone else a few weeks ago. Love the morning affirmations. Thank you. Good morning. I am listening. Oh, Shamanti, I am listening to your morning affirmations, feeling so relaxed and happy. I love your smooth voice. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Grace says your videos have helped me through panic attacks. That's awesome. So see, there's definitely a need. There's also a whole array of uses for these things, and yes, please do Pop Rock Art Studio. Got it. Awesome. Cool. And so certainly there, if you're feeling that you need to chill out, I got plenty of stuff to and other people on YouTube. There's plenty of sources out there to relax, which is the typical guided meditation and affirmation video. It's supposed to mellow you out, get you to be centered, but it, I don't know, I sense that there's also, and based on the feedback that I've gotten, there's also a need at times for more of those pump up types of things. And so yes, so let's talk a little bit about taking action, making plans, and making progress. So I subscribe to an email newsletter by a guy named James Clear, and I'm pretty sure he just came out with a book called Atomic Habits. He's been blogging and for a long time, for a number of years. There's a pretty huge following, and he had this one little quote that just really stood out to me, and I think it totally ties into what we're talking here. So again, we're talking, I know you know me from my affirmations and my guided meditations, but we're going to be talking about some stuff outside of that here, or in combination with it. And so here's the quote, and I just love this. He says, when making plans, think big. When making progress, think small. I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to give you my spin on it. I'm going to take a drink of coffee here. Top of the morning to you. Again, this is a quote from James Clear. When making plans, think big. When making progress, think small. So here's my interpretation of what this quote is. I believe it was his intention, although I can't be certain. But so when making, I believe in expansive thinking. Maybe that ties into the affirmations and the guided meditations. When you're thinking about what you want for your life, yes, it's great to think big, to think long term, to have that vision that's pulling you forward in your life. And that could be career, it could be family, it could be some some charity work that you do. But do you see yourself maybe as an author and speaking in front of thousands of people, because that's the best way that you can share your message and impact people? Maybe make money doing it too. Are you a musician or an artist or some other creative type who wants to do more with your gifts? Whatever your gifts are, whether they're in the arts or not, yes, I believe that having that vision that's pulling you forward is really important. And think big. Think of winning, whatever success means to you, and don't tie it to material things. Like, you don't have to win a Grammy to be a successful musician or be on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. There's all sort. You get to decide what success means to you, but go ahead and think big and have those grandiose ideas. Again, that end result, that vision that's pulling you forward. Don't be too attached to that, because things can change, and you may change your mind, and you may discover new opportunities along the way. That's certainly been the case in my life and career. But yes, have that big vision, think big. However, when it comes to making progress towards it, so when he says when making progress, which I identify as when you're taking the little action steps every day on a daily basis, you have to think small. So if your goal is to have a popular book and to be a speaker, and to maybe be speaking in front of thousands of people at these different conferences, maybe you've identified whatever your niche is, that's awesome. But your first step is not to call the biggest conference that you know about and ask to speak. You may not be prepared to do that. You may have to take at this moment. I've also heard this with authors when they look to get, they have a new book out and they're just a fresh, brand new author, and they think about getting press or media exposure. They go right to, oh, well, this would be great for Oprah. I'm going to contact Oprah. Well, maybe. I'm not going to try to tell you don't do anything, but there may be some steps. You may need to hone your skills as in the press to work your way up to Oprah, or maybe use that as the thing you're moving towards. But you can be very successful without ever being on Oprah as an author. And so yes, what's so when the bit for when making progress toward these grand visions, think small and chunk it down. What's the next simple step? Because if you put like if you just put something too big on your daily to-do list, it's going to seem overwhelming, and you're probably going to be very unlikely to act on it. This is another lesson that I learned. There's a book called Getting Things Done by some, I forget if you remember his name. I think his last name is Allen, but there's a very popular book, yeah, Getting Things Done. It's about a system of getting things done. And one of the big lessons from that, David Allen, that's the name of the author of that one. Um, Here's a big takeaway from that book. He says, separate projects from next action steps, which is kind of what we're talking about here. For instance, a project, maybe you need a new website, right? Or you need to either redesign or update or whatever for this new venture that you're getting ready to do in the world. And so you put on your daily to-do list, design the new website. Well, that is a huge undertaking. If you've ever done anything with a website, this can take days, it can take weeks, it can pretty like months. These days you can pretty much put together one in a week or two. And you may have to work with a designer, there's a lot of do-it-yourself websites too. But it's usually not something you do in an hour. It's not something that you can get done in a day. And so don't put a project like that on your daily to-do list. Chunk it down. Maybe the first baby step that you can accomplish, maybe in an hour, is to research various templates, or to choose a template, or to get the phone number or the email, the contact information for a designer that a friend of yours highly recommends. If you have an existing website, maybe your baby step, your small little step for today would be just to update your about page or your bio. So take the smallest little chunk that you can accomplish today and put that on your to-do list, and just commit to doing that one thing. And even if you only have like a half hour to devote to it, make some kind of small progress toward that grander vision. So again, I love this. When making plans, think big. Think about that big end result. Go for it. Just be, best case scenario. See yourself on the red carpet, or whatever success means to you, although it does not have to be fame and fortune. It shouldn't be, really. How can you make a biggest difference in the world? What would allow you to impact the most amount of people with whatever your message is? Think big, but when it comes to the daily steps, making progress, yes, think small. What's that little chunk? So that's my advice there. I see we've been getting a lot more. Oh man, there's so many great comments here. In 2 weeks. Oh shoot. Share your vids with many people. Life-changing. Thank you so much. Let's see. Thank you for creating me. Lee says, I've been doing your videos for 2 weeks and will continue to listen. I see and feel a difference. That's awesome. That's what they're there for. Yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Lee. See. Good morning, Sherry. I'm glad that you love my positivity. I love yours as well. Sharon says, I've been using the affirmations for the past 21 days. It's been almost a year now. Yep, I had a lot to change within, and so I'm very grateful for your content, Bob. Keep changing lives. Oh, thank you. I love that. Thanks a lot. You do the same thing. Use these affirmations and that positive feeling that you get to this is all, it's just definitely paying it forward or whatever. I mean, I love the fact that, yes, it makes me feel good to know that I'm changing. I'm giving you a vehicle to allow you to change your own life. Then that will give you the energy and the power to then change other people's lives. It's a ripple effect that we're all creating. So I love that. I'm not sure how to I'm not sure how to pronounce your first name. I'm sorry, but it says I have a serious planning problem. I never stick to what I plan and tend to forget or simply get too lazy to take actions. I wouldn't label yourself as lazy. You just have gotten distracted. And so let's talk about that just briefly, and I have some other things to share with you here as time allows, although we're almost 20 minutes into this. Man, time flies. So procrastination, you get sidetracked. And so in addition to, if it helps to what I just talked about, what's that little baby step? what's something that you could accomplish towards your goal that will only take 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on what your schedule is and what your family obligations are. Set aside some time. And here's the key thing: if it's not on your calendar, it's most likely not going to get done. I have a feeling that if you are a parent and you have to pick up your kids from school at a certain time, 2:30 in the afternoon or whatever it is, you're most likely going to remember that, and you're going to be there to pick up your kids. Hopefully, if you if you forget, you're not leaving them there too late. If you have a doctor's appointment, if you have an appointment to get your oil changed, if you made plans to meet a friend for coffee, you probably put it on your calendar, or maybe a reminder comes up on your phone, and you show up for those things. Why? Because they're a priority, and you've actually put them on the calendar as these are things I need to do. So if you're getting sidetracked, it's most likely because you're saying that I'm going to get around to this thing that I want to do. I want to write this book, write this song, write the poem, whatever it is. I'm going to get to it as soon as I can. And it's like in this hazy, vague limbo state that will probably never see the light of day. So you have to give your aspirations. I've also did at least one or more videos about putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but taking care of your needs so that you're more able to serve others. And so put those things on the calendar, make them a priority. Not you're also taking care of your obligations with your family, with your kids, with your parents, with your friends, showing up for work and for those appointments that you have. But put your own priorities, even if you've only can carve out 30 minutes, whatever time you have, 5 minutes, I don't care what it is, but put it on the calendar and take it seriously. And whether you feel like it or not, just sit down or whatever it is that you have to do, and make that time, put that time toward your goals. So that's my best thing. So, so put it on the calendar, but the thing you put on the calendar should be a little baby step, not a huge project, not the whole big vision. Let's take some little aspect. Ask what's the first thing I need to do? What's the first little baby step I need to do in the real world to move toward this thing that I want to accomplish? And do that, okay? I hope that's helpful. Let me take a look. Good morning. I'm just kind of taking a look here. I have to keep it, okay. Marriage. I apologize for as you sit here while I how do not despite small beginnings people have slowed in. Thank you for Kathy for saying you're an inspiration too. Oh, I just flipped through here. Good morning, Jamie from Fort Worth, Texas. My calendar's my life. Haven't been able to schedule my time frame though. All right. Sandy says she's reading The Ripple Effect right now. I'm not sure. I've even heard of that book. Kathy, you're welcome. Happy Friday to you too, Bree. All right, cool. So let me see here. I'm just gonna talk about. So there's two people. I was in Austin, Texas, the Austin, Texas area for about 9 days, up until I just came back Tuesday night, and it was an awesome time. My main reason I went was to there was a music conference called the CD Baby DIY Musician Conference, and I've been going to that pretty much every year. It was the 5th year. CD Baby is this company that helps musicians, independent musicians, sell their music in physical form and online and through Spotify and all of that. And I've been a friend of the company's for a long time. I went there to do some mentoring sessions, and I saw a whole lot of awesome speakers. Some of them were Questlove. He's the drummer for The Roots. If you ever watch The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he's the drummer, and he has the big fro and has the hair pick in his hair. But he was interviewed at one of the keynotes. That was really cool. And then Daryl McDaniel, who was a founding member of Run DMC. He was the DMC in Run DMC. He was probably one of the most inspiring speakers I've ever heard. I mean, they just gave him a mic and he talked for hour and 15 minutes, and he could have gone on for another hour. Funny, inspiring, great, told some great stories. Here was like a cool thing in case you missed this. So Simon Tam, probably not as well known as those other gentlemen that I just mentioned, but Simon Tam is someone I've been following and aware of. He's an Asian American. He's done like 7 TED Talks. I think he holds the record for the most probably TEDx talks. He's an author. He's a musician. He's a podcaster, and I heard him speak twice at this event, and just was really impressed. He's a very, it's kind of in a low-key way. He's not in your face, but he's just a very conversational, relaxed, and great information. So I heard him do 2 different talks, one about niche markets and one about using social media to promote your message and your music, because it was at a music conference. And so I was there and my girlfriend, I was watching. He had finished talking the second time, and there was a short line of people that were, getting in line to talk to him or to say hi or get there, whatever. And she said, "Go get in line and have your picture taken." And to me, and I had to admit, I was kind of fanboying out about him because I just was really impressed with what he did, and he's just a savvy, smart guy. So I got in line and I went up there, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, but I walked. Finally, it was my turn to talk to him. I said, "Hey, Simon, Bob Baker," just kind of doing a normal introduction. And before I could say anything else, he goes, "I know you, Bob. I'm a big fan." So he does not know me through my affirmation or guided meditations, but he knows me through my books, which I've been publishing books on music marketing and and music business related titles, but marketing in particular, connecting with your fans for decades now. And it was a real thrill for somebody, whenever you meet somebody you admire, and they are aware of your work. And so that's another kind of ties into to what I'm going to say here, is that to really make an impact, it helps to have something that you love, a topic that you're fascinated with, a line of work that you're fascinated with, and being able to stick with it for years. Because my first books on music marketing came out in the mid 90s, so we're talking decades here. I've been very active online. And so being prolific in your output, that's another thing that came out of this. Simon, when he was telling the story of how he got so many TED Talks, he said he initially, before he did any of them, he submitted, I guess they have these TED Talk things all over the country, all over the world. And he said he submitted to like 299 of them. I mean, like almost 300 TED Talks. And they were all saying no, but one finally said, "Yes, we'll have you." And he went and did his first one there. And after he did it, I guess he had the link to a video, he reached out to the other 298 or whatever, and said, "Hey, I just did this TED Talk here. I'd like to come to your city and maybe pitched another topic related to that," and ended up doing 7 different TED and TEDx talks. Another independent, there was a gal who's in Austin, an independent musician in Austin. Her name was Jackie Venson, and she, just a great singer and guitar player. Yeah, she's and just has some great songs. She was just talking about just hearing her being interviewed. She said something that has been echoed many times in the people that I've interacted with and interviewed over the years who are successful in the arts, that they become sort of obsessed with their calling and are willing to be prolific in their output, and they're willing to take a lot of action and ask. So you don't have to do that. I don't want to tell you this to overwhelm you. Like, I'm never going to have the time to reach out to 299 people. But if there's something that you're really passionate about and something you really want to do and manifest in your life, do your best to carve out the time to be prolific in your output. So if you're an artist, or let's say you're a writer, you definitely have to have time to write. To be a writer, and you have to write and hone your craft. To be a musician, you have to play, you have to practice. So carve out time to hone your craft, but also to share it. And then start asking. There's a blog post that I did years ago. There's also like this 30-day program I did last fall. It's called Get Your Ask Out There. ASK, get your ask out there. So you have to sort of be willing to ask people. Ask your friends for help. Ask your family. Have your significant other. "Hey, can you help me? I really want to do this. Can you give me some space once a week or at this particular time of the day to work on my, let them know this is important to you. And so your friends, family, your lovers, if you have existing fans or customers, ask them to help you. Ask them to share your message. Ask them for referrals. Ask them for a sale. If you're a speaker or a performer, ask venues. If you can speak or perform there, ask. And if you don't know someone there and you're not getting a response, do you know someone who does perform or speak there? Can you ask for, who do you ask for people that may be connected to the person that you need to get to? Same thing with press and media exposure. Ask for the coverage. Let people know that what you're doing. Ask for the sale if you have something to sell. And so really it's about being prolific with your output, and you're honing your craft, and then starting to share it in many ways, over time, and just be committed to that. So the people who succeed become kind of obsessed. That's kind of the way I built my or grew my YouTube channel through these affirmations. I didn't when I started posting them and seeing that they were getting views and that there was interest and I was getting awesome comments like the ones you've been leaving here, I became somewhat, I use the word in a friendly term, I became somewhat obsessed with YouTube and figuring out, man, I'm doing some good in the world. I'm impacting people. How can I do more of this? Not just in a selfish, hey, how can I be more popular, but how can I impact more people at the same time? And so I took a deep dive not only into recording better, and learning how to record my voice and mix it with the music so that it sounded good for those of you that consume it. But also on the back end, on the business side of things, I took a deep dive into learning best practices of YouTube. How could I increase the odds that these videos would be discovered? So I learned about titles and thumbnails and doing keyword research and what to put in the descriptions and the tags and all that. And so you have to get analytical like that and get obsessed with how can I increase the odds that this is going to spread to more people. And so that's how I grew this channel. That's how I became an author years ago. That's how I got known for music marketing, which led to Simon Tam recognizing me because I was just prolific in my output. And so I'm going to encourage you to, on whatever scale you can do that, I was going to encourage you to do the same thing. So I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Let me know your thoughts, and whether you're watching live or watching the replay later. Please do leave a comment. I know they'll be in a separate section. I'm gonna go in reverse order. Lisa says, I really like your painting. I can see the corners of them behind you. Can you show the whole paintings in a shot? I did that earlier, but I have dedicated to following my art passion full time since April. Any advice? Yeah, well, kind of what I'm saying here, Lisa, keep painting, keep posting them, whatever social media, show people the images, things that you're working on. Keep sharing, you can. So some of the stuff you do in private, like honing your craft, keep painting, keep experimenting with different mediums and processes in your art, and don't be afraid to share them. Don't worry about people stealing your stuff. Take pictures with your phone and go, here's a painting I'm working on. Just share it, because paintings, artwork actually has an advantage over other mediums like the written word and on audio and even video, because to consume that, people have to click a link and they have to spend time reading or listening to determine if they like it. An image they see immediately and will hit the like button or will, just like you've done here. So yeah, that's Amy Winehouse over there, and that is just like a jazz kind of thing. And there's a work in progress below there that's actually hiding the mess on the desk behind me, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to center my head between the paintings. So thank you. Earlier I posted, if you want to see more of my artwork, there's a website that I dedicated to that. So it's all one word. It's poprockartstudio.com, poprockartstudio.com, if you want to go there and just check out some of the stuff. If you want to get any originals from me or a canvas print, contact me directly, which I think there's an email on the about page of my YouTube channel. But yeah, I didn't expect, it's so funny, I didn't expect the people to be so interested in the artwork, but I'm glad that you are. I'm glad you're doing Friday morning live again. Oh, you're welcome. That's Lisa again. Good morning. I can't. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. And then any advice for starting a career in singing? Well, yeah, thank you for all the advice. I greatly appreciate you and all your hard work. This is Julie and helping those of us all around the world. Yeah, it literally is a global community, and it just amazes me, Julie, that I can reach people all around the world, and we can have this conversation. So again, I'm going to reiterate what I've already said. Julie, so Julie, if you want, if you are musicians or you know musicians, wasn't planning on promoting this stuff, but since it's come up, my website, it's dedicated to music marketing specifically and to growing a music career, is thebuzzfactor.com. The Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, factor.com. You can also Google Bob Baker Music Marketing, and you'll find some of my stuff there. Yeah, there's tons of free advice and blog posts, and I have a podcast called the Music Marketing Podcast. But the same thing there for building a singing career is just hone your skills. Take lessons, perform as much as you can. Try to team up with other musicians in your area and perform with them, record with them, and then slowly but surely share that. Share that gift with the world, and don't, it doesn't have to be perfect. You make it the best that you can, but just get it out there. Just sing go live on Facebook or your YouTube and just sing into your phone, or record video clips and upload the ones, the takes that you're happy with. Amazing morning to all the beautiful souls. So says Shalene. Thank you, Bob. Yes, we greatly appreciate you. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And hi, Nicole from Arizona. Yay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, man. We're only 36 minutes into this. And so I appreciate you. But continue to leave comments. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, please do so. Like 75% of my video views come from people who don't even subscribe. So if you don't yet subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications. I would really appreciate that. Archie from Mumbai, India. Awesome. Welcome. Sorry, I'm about to tune out, or not tune out, but sign off. And if you don't already, I'm offering 6 free affirmation and guided meditation downloads, which you can get at bobbakerinspiration.com. Bob Baker Inspiration. Just go there, put your name and email in, and you'll be on the list, and I'll send you free downloads. And a couple times a month or so, I'll send you like links to my latest videos and activities. I'm also getting my stuff into Spotify and that digital, Amazon and all the various digital audio and music platforms. So if you search for Bob Baker's Inspiration Project on any of those platforms, you'll be able to find my stuff there. You can stream it. The stuff I have way more available on YouTube. And I'm planning on launching some sort of a 30-day affirmation program sometime maybe later in September. So if you're on the email list, you'll be the first one to know. So go to bobbakerinspiration.com and get on that. And I'd love to have you join me for that too. All right, I'm going to sign off for now. I really appreciate you wherever you are. Have an awesome Friday. Have an awesome day. Have a great weekend. And keep thinking positive and spread that positive vibration to everyone around you. Let's create a ripple effect around the world, baby. Sound good? All right. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.